Hello, everyone. I thought we might do a little late night chat session. So if anybody's out there looking for something to do and someone to talk to, we can do that. Let's see who we can find to jump in with us. Hopefully somebody will show up. There. I think that's pretty good. Anybody out there? Let's see. Maybe we should. No, I don't want to do that. No, that's what I want. Hello. Okay, let's see. Copy invite. Whoops. I need the chat. Hi, Troy. So we got the usual hail, hail, the gang's all here. Post that. And pin it. I don't know how, for some reason, I always seem to miss how to um let's see. I always seem to miss how to change it to subscription only, subscribers only. It's fast. I turned you on. What the heck? Are you coming up? There you are.
Where are you? There you are.
Well,
Good evening.
like it wasn't pulling you up until I did that, and then it worked. I don't know.
It's Trey's fault.
It is. It
He
must.
went to bed.
Yeah. I know. Let me see. Let me see. Pin message. Okay.
It's under community moderation, Lori. The subscriber mode.
I have no idea. Community moderation? I have no idea.
But is that for StreamYard or Restream?
Oh, this is Restream. So.
Well, no, I'm asking Heather if it's where the community moderation is.
Yeah, I don't see that. I don't know me.
And how are you feeling, Brother Troy? How you doing?
Good question. Let's see if we can pop out the chat here. How about chat?
Don't you copy that Restream and then pin it? I mean, I know that's how you do it on StreamYard. You click like there's 3 dots. I don't know if there's 3 dots because I can't see it on my end, but let me check. Let me see if I
Well, I
can.
have it all. I have it. I have it pinned, and I have. The chat is all set. I just can't figure out. Share screen. No, I don't want. I don't want to do that. No, not now.
Well, there's a pinned message I see up at the top.
Yeah, I have it. I have it pinned in the.
Oh, she's looking for subscriber mode. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to do that in Restream.
It's under community.
I don't know.
Community moderation. Lori.
Yeah, maybe in YouTube. That might work in the YouTube side, but it doesn't. There's nothing like that in the that I can see anyway in Restream.
All right, that's above my pay grade then.
I have no idea.
She says it's in the YouTube chat. It's not in your Restream, it's in YouTube chat, she says.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, let's see. Channel permissions. Um, hmm. I don't know. I can't seem to find anything about subscriber only. You're just sitting there on the beach.
Yes.
Oh, what
Sitting on
the
the
heck?
beach. I am.
Why is this thing showing this? Select window or screen. I don't know what the heck I opened, but it doesn't want to. Unable to share the screen. Well, that's fine. I don't care anyway.
Well, just don't
I don't
click
want to
on the
share the
red button.
screen. Yeah. Heather, are you coming up, or are you?
No, she's chilling. She's gonna sit here and be in chat until she falls asleep, and then she'll jump off.
I see.
But even though I have her bottle ready to go.
Well, there you go. See, that should be.
I mean, that's what I get for being nice, I guess,
Some people's kids.
And look at you. You're almost out of drink, Miss Lori. You should have got you a drink refill.
I know. I should have.
Again.
I know. I should learn, but I.
You could lead a horse to water, but you can't make her drink.
That's for sure.
Have a good night, Miss Jan. I did tell you hello several times in another channel, but there was a lot of people there, and so I'm letting it go. I'm not gonna say you ignored me.
Hello, Jan. And did you happen to catch my other little live that I did that somebody took over my channel yesterday? Some clown. You might want to go watch that just for the heck of it.
It looked like Raggedy Ann to me.
It did, didn't it?
Hey, Troy, there you are, brother.
Hello. Oh,
How y'all
how
doing?
are ya?
Oh, I can barely hear you, Troy.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
I have my finger over the
Oh, well, you have to
mic.
forgive me. The military got my hearing.
Yeah. And I can barely talk right now too. So,
Well, then you need all the mic you can get.
well, yeah, that ain't going to happen these days.
It's all
I got a
right,
lot of
bro.
recovering to do.
Yeah, I know.
But
So how are you doing at home?
I'm doing pretty good. I got my my grandnephews. They're coming down, help me out a little bit every day, and getting
Well,
some
that's
things done
good.
around the house. So,
That's good.
yeah,
That's excellent.
yeah.
That's what you need.
Oh yeah.
Well, you're looking a lot
Um,
better.
Well, I'm feeling a
yeah,
lot better,
definitely.
but I got had to order a lot of rehab equipment and stuff, which should hopefully that should be here by the weekend. So,
Oh, good.
but
That's very good.
The only thing about is like I don't know if your rehab is similar to physical therapy. I
yeah,
hated going to physical therapy. It hurt worse than what pain I was in.
yeah. Well, right now, the reason that the hospital wouldn't let me go until they got in contact with the VA hospital, home-based primary care, trying to get me back in with them,
Yeah,
and so we got
I
that
figured.
ball rolling. I just got to go meet the provider, get his okay. So,
Well, see, if I've been told that like up here in Oklahoma with my VA, I can go to the hospital for anything and everything,
yeah,
emergency or whatever. But I think it's within 24 hours, I have to call a telephone number
yeah.
and let them know that, hey, I'm here. So I'm like, well, I hope I'm not passed out because, or, in
Yeah,
a coma or something.
yeah. Well, that's well, this I wasn't going that night, but then my step niece, uh, whenever the boys called her, she came down here. Where she's a nurse,
Oh,
and
that's good.
within the first 5 minutes, she said you got one eyeball rolling back in your head, one at a time. Said ambulance is on its way. So, and then when I got to the hospital called the VA, and so.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
that's good.
I carry my military ID card in my billfold.
I do too.
So if somebody, who is this guy or whatever, hopefully they find that.
Yeah. That's what my VA card is right underneath my driver's license.
Yeah, mine too.
So,
So
but
Can you
yeah,
get, do you have a social security disability too?
no, no. With being 100% disability, it don't qualify me for any type of other uh, Social Security, and everybody they all turn me down.
Oh, okay. So you can either have one or the other.
Yeah, so only thing I got is the VA. But
and if you're like me, you always get the doctor that's got the shaky hands.
yeah,
It looks like he was born 2 days after Moses. And he
yeah,
comes in there and
and
goes,
don't
honey?
speak English.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I have to admit, the VA up here, because I registered in the VA originally in Texas when I lived there. But the
Yeah,
VA in Oklahoma versus the VA in Texas is like day and night.
right. So see,
Oklahoma is a lot better.
yeah. See, I've
Yeah.
since I live here by myself, and I haven't been able to drive in like 2 years, so I'm kind of stuck.
They
And
won't come and get you, the VA?
for like the VA van, I'd
Yeah,
have to drive 5 miles to get to where they'd pick me up.
pardon me, but
Oh,
that's BS.
that's
Yep.
dumb.
And see, that's what perturbs me, and I'm going to get on my soapbox. What perturbs me is that we have all these veterans, and instead of everybody coming up and saying, "What do you need? What can we do? How can we help you?" It's oh no, wait a minute. We've got all these people that just crossed the border. Here's this, here's hang on, veteran, I'll get to you, you know, and okay, I'm sorry, veteran, we don't have anything available because we just gave it all to them.
Well,
Yeah.
then the bad part about it is they took doctors from the VA and shipped them down to the only people they
To the
take care
border.
of is the illegal aliens.
Yep.
Exactly.
And they
That is
also kicked
annoying.
a bunch of veterans out of hotels and motels
Yep.
so that
Well,
those
they
So they
kicked them
can
out
put
to
them
VA
in.
homes.
and then those same
Mhm.
people were sitting there complaining, bitching, and moaning and groaning. Pardon, I didn't mean to say that, Miss Lori, that bad word.
Hey,
But
I've said bad words before. Worse
but
than that.
they're sitting there complaining because this isn't the food we like. We want this kind of food. And it's like, wait a minute, you're getting all this free stuff and you're telling other people what you want? Back off, Loretta.
You think you're going to get a menu that you're going to be able to pick and
Yeah.
choose what you want?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be lucky to get anything to stick in your face and eat.
I mean, you know, I have seen firsthand veterans who have the only that are homeless that have got just the clothes on what they're wearing, which are not, anything fancy or nothing. And I saw one guy had a dog, and that was his compassion, that was his life and everything. He was sitting there feeding the dog his sandwich that he had to the dog, and he wasn't eating.
Yeah.
And I walked over to him and I said, pardon me. I said, what can I do to help? And he says, well, I'm a veteran. I said, well, so am I. What can I do to help?
Yeah.
And I said, do you want a meal? Do you need a place to stay or something?
Yeah.
Because that just boils me. Because
Right.
yeah, I'm a veteran, but you think out of all the people from Vietnam, the people from Korea, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, Desert Storm, and all that, everybody wants to sit there and say, oh, we support the veterans, we do this, we do that, and all that. But when it comes down to brass tacks, put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just
didn't-
grateful that my great nephews, they're just now getting of age where they can actually come down and help out. But they only live a football field and a half away. And
Oh, wow.
but for the past year and a half, I haven't seen anybody. And
Well, just wait until
Families
your,
are
wait,
not
wait till your
families anymore.
funeral, and you'll have cousins that mysteriously show up because
oh yeah,
you know how it is.
oh yeah. But
I mean, it's like I have a daughter, an older daughter that supposedly she has changed her last name. I don't know if she did it legally or if she just said she did it, but she said she did it legally. But she burned her bridge, and so she left, and then she changed her last name to her mother's maiden name.
yeah,
And and then I haven't heard from her and all that jazz. But then whenever she does call, she'll call one of my cousins or something and start asking questions, and they're like, what do you want with your dad? You haven't been a part of his life, don't want to be in it, and don't know anything like that. And then she'll hang up.
yeah.
So it's like, is it sad? Yeah, it's sad and it hurts.
Yeah.
But when you burn your bridge, you burn your bridge.
Yeah.
You need
Well,
to
it's
come
like
back.
other than the boys, they live with their daddy because he's separated from my niece, and he got remarried. And actually, his wife now is the one I call my step niece
Right.
because he's been trying to get my niece to come down for over a year to come check on me, and get me to the doctor, and she never has showed up. So him and his wife has done more for me than my own family has. So,
And that's sad. That's
yeah.
sad. Well, that's like when I first found out that you were at a hospital from Amy, and I said, okay, he's up in Virginia, right? Or he's over in that way. I was like,
Mm.
dang it. And then I said, okay, was anybody with him? Is somebody there? Even though if you got to wait in the lobby, is somebody there for him?
Yeah.
Because I didn't want you to be alone.
Yeah. Well, I was used to it. It didn't really bother me, but
Well, that's
the
not the point.
hospital I ended up is an hour and a half away from here. Because here in southern West Virginia, there is nothing. This end of the county, we only got 2 ambulances, and the reason they got 2 ambulances because one of them's always broke down. And
Don't have a heart attack on this day because
no.
broke
We'll
down.
put you on a list. We might get to you tomorrow. So that's why
Have they got-
I don't even like calling
Have you,
911 or anything because I was afraid to take away from somebody else that really needed it.
Well, it sounds like at
Well,
the time you were really needing
You
it.
needed it.
It was.
I'm
It got to
surprised.
where I'd actually lost my phone, and my oldest nephew was down here the day before, and like I said, they only live a football field and a half away. And I done fell once that morning, trying to get off the toilet. I fell in the bathtub. I said, "Well, since I'm here, might as well take a bath." And then I went out to the mailbox, and I was walking back to the house, and so it's one step up on my porch, and I couldn't even get up on the porch. I had to crawl over to the door, pull myself up on the door. Couldn't find my phone, so I went back out, crawled out, went out to the truck. My nephew pulled the trailer out of the garage the day before, so it was still hooked to the truck. So I had to crawl underneath the truck, unhook the trailer, then crawl up in the truck and drive up to their house. And then I had my nephew drive me back down, and he found the phone. That's when he called his stepmom to come down.
Right.
But that
Do
was
they
it.
have-
I was getting scared that day. I ain't
Have
afraid to
you
admit
got
it.
like air evac helicopters, medevacs, or anything like that? The companies up
They do. That's actually that's what's mainly used around here. But she knew one of the girls that works on the ambulance squad, and so she called her, and they were here within 15 minutes. And
Wow.
but I did learn that one thing though.
What's that?
When you're being strapped onto a gurney, and you tell your 13-year-old nephew to go in there and pack you some clothes for the hospital for a stay, check the bag before you leave.
I can think of several things
That didn't make it in there?
that didn't make it in there.
Yeah.
Underwear.
You hit the nail on the head right there. And the other pair
Figured
of
that was
pants
the
he
first
put in
thing
there
they forgot.
was a pair of long handle underwear, the spandex type.
Oh no.
Yeah, but you look so great in those hospital gowns.
Oh
Well-
yeah, they're so fun to
there was
walk
no
around
way
the
I was gonna put
hospital
one of
in.
them things on there. And the first night there, I'm going to tell myself on this because it's kind of funny. They thought they had me on watch for seizures.
Right.
So they had me in the bed. They had the side rails up, and then they had the pads on the side rails for seizures and stuff like that. I wake up 3 o'clock every morning to use the bathroom.
Oh shit.
And I wake
That's an
up
Irish
not
name.
knowing where I'm at, tangled up in the sheets, and they had the sensor alarm turned down real sensitive. So now all of a sudden, all these alarm bells are going off and everything. It didn't end well for me.
Plus,
So
you
now
probably had a
they get
bunch
the
of
bag out,
IVs
and
in
that
you.
all everything in there is them spandex long handle underwear.
Oh,
I said, well, that ain't
jeez.
gonna work. Well, we got some diapers here you can wear. and
Oh,
spandex don't go good together.
wow.
Well, you gotta understand though, and probably in the excitement and everything, that person wasn't, that
Well,
real.
he's
He
Oh,
only
takes pride.
I was laughing
13.
my ass. Oh, I'm sorry. I was laughing my butt off the entire time. I said, "You can't make stuff like this up."
Hey
Here's your
guys,
sign. That's what we call a flu
just
bar.
Yeah,
just so you know, I worked in a steel mill. I
yeah,
worked in factories from the time I was 15 until the time I was in my mid 20s when I got pregnant for my first son. I've heard it all and worse.
yeah. But
Yeah, but
Because the
we don't
guys,
want you to get an X or something.
yeah,
all the guys that work in factories, they don't hold their tongues.
no, no.
They try. When there's a woman around, they get a little nervous, and it's like,
Yeah. Well, Chris
yeah, it
knows
got
is
to the
me.
point where I
I
was
was
just as
almost
bad.
in the service for 20 years. I like 3 months from retirement, and then my enlistment ran out, and they wouldn't let me re-up because I got medevaced out of Iraq too many times. They said I was a liability. I said, well, I can work
Liability.
desk or do anything, get my 3 months in. No,
No, because they didn't want to give you the retirement.
right. But I make more on the 100% disability than I would on retirement anyway. So.
Oh, that's good.
I went to get a hearing test at the Dallas VA, and because I've got the ringing going on,
Right.
and I sit there saying, "Look, I said the only thing we had back in those days, if we had anything for earplugs, was 245 live 45 round shells.
Yeah.
Other than that, we didn't have hearing protection."
No.
And
Well,
so
what
I
we
did.
had that they gave us to wear over in Iraq and stuff at the last couple tours I did over there was they came out now. They had that big lawsuit.
Yeah.
Said so the 45s would probably been just as good as what we had.
Well, after the test and all that, I was like, okay, well, do I get my results? Well, you'll get a letter.
Yeah.
You'll
And
get
I'm like, and so when I got the letter, it said that that he couldn't find anything, and I was like, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I could have appealed it, but I didn't know how to do all that, and
Yeah.
I was just so disgusted with them.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I found out
Because
one thing with the VA. You got there's one person that's not in the hospital system, but is part of the VA. I forget what they're called, but their job is to find that little notch
yeah,
to lock that outer ring into the inner ring to get the balls rolling. Then you got to find
Yeah.
the next person, get to the next little ring. And
and it shouldn't be that way.
no,
That's my dad used to have to put up with all that kind of stuff too, because he had a massive heart attack when he was 59,
yeah,
and he was disabled from that point on.
right,
And he'd served in the army in World War II
yeah,
for a year because he was too old.
yeah. But
He was in his 40s, and he kept going to the recruiters every time they showed up in the city. He'd take a bus to the city and wanting to sign up. Anyway, he so when he was disabled, he had, but see, he had the veterans benefits, and he also had Social Security disability. And he had a VA, not an administrator. I can't remember what the heck.
representative.
It was sort of like that. Yeah. He
Yeah.
was the guy that he always used to call whenever he had a problem. If there was anything if he had any kind of questions about, did he qualify for this or could he get any help with that or whatever.
Yeah.
I can't remember what his agent,
Yeah.
VA agent. And
But-
he used to help coordinate, the different things, and he also worked with the Social Security administrator agent
Right.
guy that he had to deal with
Yeah.
because he couldn't do anything after he had his heart attack. I mean, he was dead on the table for 4 minutes.
Yeah.
His heart stopped for 4 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I had my stroke dang near 10 years to the day. So I'd went through the VA system before with this, which I had a cerebral stroke, which destroyed part of my cerebellum back here. It's only 40% active. So I was in a wheelchair for 2 years and had to learn how to walk again. So this is kind of the same thing. So I went on and ordered a lot of the equipment that I used for physical therapy back then. So hopefully that all should be here by the weekend, but
I hope so.
That'd be great.
and hopefully they'll get me back on home health care where they'll actually be sending people in here for the physical therapy and stuff. And
It's about time you got some kind of help.
yeah.
Yeah, but will it be the right help?
Well, I know
Yeah.
I was on home base for a while, and it'll be with this same group that I had before, and they were all really good people.
Okay.
And matter of fact, the provider for that group actually was raised with my cousin, so we know the family and everything, so that helps a lot. And
Yes, sir.
Hi, Rebecca.
Imagine it will.
yeah. But Chris, every time I see your icon, makes me think of my dad, because he was in the Strategic Air Command. It was
He was in
Redmond
the back.
on the
That
big
one?
bomber. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anytime I see an old bomber or anything like that, I think of my dad. Of course,
Well,
he was in during the Kennedy administration, back during.
yeah, he
all
was
that stuff.
probably in the either the B-36s or the B-47s until they
It was
finally
the
went.
big one, whatever it was.
Well,
I
the
can't remember off my head.
B-52s. The B-52 is the current one.
Right. And but yeah, he was in that Cuban Missile Crisis and all that stuff.
Yep. The only Cuban thing I was involved in was the Mariel boat lift when the Cubans were exiled from Cuba and they came to Key West, Florida.
Florida.
Yeah. Well, after we got back from Somalia in '94, then they had the Haitian conflict, where all the Haitians and Cubans were coming up here in inner tubes and stuff. And we went down there and worked for a few months. And
well, that's what we were doing. They were taking John boats or whatever kind of any flotation device.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were overloading it.
Yeah.
And and all that, but they didn't care as far as
no, they just wanted to get here.
Well,
they just wanted to.
And the people that were here, I've got a boat for sale, and they were just thinking of all the money that they could make.
Yeah, but when I was back in the Navy, because I was in the Navy and National Guard and Army and stuff. So, but whenever I was in the Navy, we was over in Iraq and stuff. We always had at least 3 or 4 Coast Guard guys on board the ship with us, because since they wasn't part of the Department of the Defense,
right?
They had a lot more authority to do things that we wasn't allowed to do.
Yep, boarding and everything.
Well, we done the boarding, but they just filled the pilot house full of fire hose water, and they get them to stop and stuff. And then we would go over and board them, because I worked a small boat crew, So
And see, that's what I did. I worked in small boats in the Coast Guard,
yeah,
but I did. I did in Key West. We were on a 41-foot boat, and we
yeah,
would go out of the harbor and go relieve our patrol boats of a tow or whatever of Cubans, and then we'd bring them
yeah,
back into the port. Why am I yawning? And then customs would take over, and then from there I went from Key West, Florida, to Brookings, Oregon, where I was assigned to a 44-foot motor lifeboat.
yeah.
And a 44-foot motor lifeboat, until you experience it.
Well, I had 3 of those at one time when I spent one tour on an aircraft carrier. So I had I had all the boats that was on there, and I think it was 47 or it was 53 foot.
Well, the Coast Guard now they replaced the 44s with a 47-footer.
Yeah,
That's what they did. But
yeah.
the
But
44
these were all old Vietnam, World War II heirs.
Oh,
Because I mean, once we got them out of the cradle, put them in the water, we'd have to loosen the screw and pull the helm up out of the floor, and then tighten it back down to stand up at it, and then put the throttle into a slot with the forward and reverse, and had the throttle was like the old Model Ts on the column, and you get in a tight spot in them trying to turn them around because you have to hold it either forward or in reverse because it wouldn't hold itself. So you had to hold it one way or the other while working the throttle and steering at the same time. And
Wow.
well, the ones that we had with the 44s were they had what was called they had a turtle shell in the back, and then on the forward area it was all watertight. So when you would rescue people, you could put them in there.
Yeah,
they'd be safe, and it was all padded because the 44-foot, if you got in a predicament and you got hit by a rogue wave, or if you got hit in the channel of the swells, and it would capsize the boat.
Yeah. And
then the next wave that came over would hit it again and would rewrite it.
Yeah. That sounds a lot like the 37-foot LCPLs that we had.
I'll have to look them up.
And
but yeah, the 44s were not fast. They were slow, but they could capsize and rewrite. But you'd lose all your electronics, but you had hydraulic steering and you had Detroit diesels, and you keep on going.
Yeah. Yeah, those LCPLs is what was used a lot of times during Vietnam for river patrols.
Okay, I was going to say, well, hang on.
Had the cabin up front,
and
the engine behind you in the turtle shell.
Let's see, LP. What was it again, Troy?
I think it was LCPL or LCPV.
I want low cost of living. I don't want that.
Acronyms can be such a pain in the butt to try and find the one you're looking for. Oh, yeah, I bet.
Because I was on an LST, then I went to a CV, then I went to a FFG. And then 9 years at sea, it's like, it's time to get out. I'm just going to go join the National Guard. They never go nowhere.
Yeah, right.
Except
until the Desert Storm and all that. Then all of a sudden they were all being shipped over.
Well, we were the first full National Guard battalion to be activated and sent into a combat zone since World War II.
Yeah.
I think there was 8 different states that was all part of it.
I think Massachusetts was one of them.
Yeah. That was back in 2003.
That's a 44.
2003 to 2005.
Let me
There you go.
bigify you.
That's a
Oh, I
40.
know that.
That's a
That's old World War
44
II.
footer.
Wasn't that
And
old World War II?
right back there is the turtle shell,
Oh, okay.
and then up. I'm trying to do this backwards. Up under here and all that was where all the watertight compartment was, to where it went below
Oh,
deck.
yeah.
But yeah, those things could. Yeah, they
Yeah.
took a beating and all that, unless it was. I mean, we lost some crews. You know,
Oh, yeah.
the sea wasn't forgiving. I guarantee
Oh,
that.
no. Try to go through a hurricane in a flat bottom LST tank landing
Oh
ship.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now that's fun, man. Break
Oh,
open a
yeah.
couple of beers
We took 48 to 53-degree rolls for 3 days straight.
and try to steer in that stuff.
I was on the helm, and there's always full right, full left, full right, full left, and then the helm falls off and goes rolling across the. That's fun.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
And you can't go get it because you're tied off to the handrails.
Well, I was going to say with the 44s, the gunner straps from the
That's-
Hueys,
Yeah.
we were wearing. When we went out for rescues, we were wearing the old wetsuits that basically you couldn't move, and
Yeah.
the hands weren't fingered gloves. They were like you had, I don't know, it was like you had a thumb and you had two fingers,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
type. It was the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah.
And then we were wearing a Bell motorcycle helmet to protect
Yeah.
you. And yeah, we were strapped into the boat. So you're hanging upside down for however many seconds that seemed like an eternity.
Yeah. So y'all had to bust through the waves. That was rough. And because like when I was on the oh shoot, what was it? The landing crafts with the bow doors on the front.
Yep.
We had a couple of them, and which I rode one or two of them, but that was on the beach, and where the wave catch you.
Yeah, I was going to
and
say the
roll
wave.
us over.
Yeah, and those are flat bottom as well.
Yeah. And
I mean, they had a little bitty keel, but
Yeah.
no,
just in the
Not
front.
much.
But
yeah.
the old
See,
Higgins folks.
my dad served in the Navy on the USS Boxer, which was an aircraft carrier, CV-21 in Korea. And then I had an uncle that served in the Navy. And so I was like, but I was an Air Force. I was a huge Air Force freak. I mean, if I had to do it all over again, I would have joined I'd join the Air Force, because I mean, I thought the Coast Guard was cool because the rescues and granted I was 17.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I saw the rescues, you know, and there were the police of the seas and all this, and I was like, sweet.
Yeah.
Little did I know at that time, under President Jimmy Carter, the Coast Guard was under the Department of Transportation.
Yeah.
So the first ship right out of boot camp that I was on was built in 1943, and it was called the USS Yacona. But in the Navy had it as a salvage tug, and it was called the USS Siege.
Yeah.
And the Navy said, okay, this is too old. We're getting rid of it. And the Coast Guard said, you're getting rid of it? Hey, we'll take it. 1991, they finally retired. The Coast Guard retired after 1943 to 1991.
Yeah.
And I was
It's
like,
the wonders they kept it that long.
I mean, it wasn't like the newer ones. I mean, it was solid. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a seagoing tug. It wasn't built for speed. And we hardly ever got to do any Coast Guard stuff other than tow monster buoys, weather buoys.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I was sitting there going like, boy, did I screw up. I should have joined the Air Force.
Yeah, well, your love of planes, that should have been your first choice.
Well, you have to remember where I lived in Fort Worth, Texas, just north of me was an Air Force base called Carswell Air Force Base. And Carswell Air Force Base is where they filmed partially of the movie Strategic Air Command with Jimmy Stewart in it.
Yeah.
When he goes and does the B-36s and they're flying out, that's Carswell Air Force Base. I on the weekends when I wasn't in school, I was hanging out at Carswell Air Force Base because I loved it.
Chris would probably be more like Slim Pickens in that bomber.
Oh, yeah, and the bomb.
Oh, yeah.
What the heck
Yeah.
was the movie?
Yeah, where he rode
Yahoo!
the missile down.
Yeah!
Oh God, what is the name of that movie now?
I
I
can't
don't
think of it.
remember.
Huh?
Dang it. It's
No,
I can
it's not.
see it.
It wasn't. It was Doctor. No,
Dr. Strangelove.
Dr. Strangelove.
Yes. Yeah. Oh man,
Slim
hang on,
Pickens.
boys. I'm going to go down there and see if I can fix this here bomb, or open the bay doors, is what he said.
Yeah.
I love it. When does a pilot leave command when he's on a bomb run? I mean that, and then George C. Scott, him and that gum, and
Yeah.
he's sitting there. Them Ruskies they're trying to do something.
Yeah. That was a classic cult film.
Oh, it was all sorts of wrong in that movie, but it was hilarious as all get out.
Yeah. But,
Yeah. Slim Pickens, man.
Dr. Strangelove. How I learned to stop worrying and love the bomb.
And then what was the doctor? I can't think of his name. That was in the wheelchair, and he's sitting there talking, and his hand.
Oh yeah, his hand.
And he grabs it.
Yeah.
And pulls it back down.
He couldn't control his hand.
Choking.
Yeah, and he's just choking him. Yeah, I'm sitting there like, holy crud. But if he's going to do that, then he needs to be choked.
Oh yeah.
But again, that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Stanley Kubrick.
I've got it on DVD, so when do you want to watch it, Miss Lori?
I think we have it on DVD too.
I wonder if
movie night.
I wonder how we can put a movie on and sit here and watch a movie and have popcorn and just roll.
I don't think so. Not without the channel getting shut down.
Oh man, then we'd have to play a couple Mel Brooks movies, and
oh yeah,
we'd have to play Blazing Saddles for sure.
Definitely, that's one of my favorite ones. That and Monty Python.
Oh my God, I haven't thought about them. Run away! Run away!
Run away! Run away!
It's just a flesh wound.
Yeah. What? You
talking
about that rabbit over there? Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh my God.
And the rabbit tears him apart.
Did you ever see the movie 1941?
With John Belushi?
Yep.
When he parachutes out of the crash plane?
Yeah.
And Dan Aykroyd was the tank guy or something?
Yeah, he was in the tank.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Slim Pickens was in that too. Didn't the Germans or the not the Germans, the Japanese capture him?
No, that was John Belushi that captured him. Because remember the girl that was out there and undressed, went out for a swim, and then all the jacuzzi bubbles started popping, and she grabbed the periscope, and he comes up, and he opens up the hatch, he goes, Hollywood!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Strangelove was Peter Sellers.
That's who it was. Yeah. I mean,
he was a riot. Oh my God, he was good. He did some great movies.
They don't
Didn't
make
he
any
do-
good movies
All right,
anymore.
who did one?
No.
Who did the one with the or One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
That was Jack Nicholson
Jack
and
Nicholson,
Oh, I should
yeah.
have known.
Yeah.
Here's Johnny.
Yeah.
Well, after
Different
I got
movie,
back,
but
when I
yeah.
got the second from last time, I was back about 2 weeks, and I was down in South Carolina with visiting a friend of mine, and we was out there on a little semi-tropical island out in Beaufort County, down at Hunting Island State Park, and we was looking at watching the park rangers right up and down the beach on the four-wheelers. And I said, "Man, that ain't no job." And a buddy of mine talked to me. He said, "Just go up there and put an application in, just for a joke." So I did. The next week they called me to come to work down there.
Yeah.
And that's all the Vietnam scenes in Forrest Gump
Yeah.
was all filmed right there on the island in the lagoon.
Oh, wow.
And all the shrimp boat, that was actually at Gay's Fish Company, which was right across the creek from the state park.
You mean to tell me that was not filmed in Louisiana?
Part of it was. Part of it was filmed in Savannah. But a big part of it was filmed there in Beaufort County. And that's actually where they have the Forrest Gump Museum. Of course, that's right there beside Hilton Head.
Yeah.
What was his name? Ted Turner's Island is right there. Was two islands over from us. So there was a lot of movies made in through there.
I never knew.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved Forrest Gump and I loved Saving Private Ryan, but then as far as an actor, yes, he's good, and of course you had Wilson, and all
Oh,
that.
yeah.
But,
Oh God, yeah.
but the human being of Tom Hanks, I was kind of shocked to hear his political views.
Yeah, I was too. From the type of movies he's done,
Yes,
that blew my mind.
Not
I was
not a fan of that. That's for sure.
Not saying he
Yeah.
didn't have he had to, he's a human, he can make his own choices, but I was like, you mean to tell me I guess you just thought you were an actor and you just did these movies for the money, but
Yeah.
other than I don't know, but I can't answer for him, but I was kind of shocked.
Yeah, but I met several famous people while I was down there. I was there's up in Yamasee, South Carolina, which is up next to 95 or I-95. There's this little restaurant bar type deal there. They were only open like twice a week, and on Thursday nights was a steak night, which you call ahead, order your food and stuff, and everybody sits down at one big table. And you never know who you're going to be sitting beside or anything. And we were sitting in there, and we were sitting there talking and talking to the people beside of us and across the table. And the guy beside me, he said, "Do you recognize who I am?" I said, "Well, I got a pretty good idea." I said, "But I wasn't going to say anything. I figured it was kind of rude because we're all just out here having a good time." It was Bruce Willis.
Oh, wow.
Ah, cool.
And we sat there and talked for a long time, even after the dinner was over and stuff, and had a good time. But most of them actors stuff down there, if you get them away out in little places like that, it was originally a one-room school. So I mean, it was because I never went in town and stuff. I guess that's where I roll over from the Navy days. Stay out of town. Just go to the hole in wall places and stay away from the trouble.
Yeah. Otherwise, you could end up like Rambo.
Yeah, because there in Beaufort, that was of course you had Parris Island right there, so it's filled full of Marines all the time.
Marines.
And
My cousin was a Marine.
Been in a few fights with them.
yeah, Actually, I still some of my best friends today are some of the Marine Force Recon that we was in Somalia with, and of course we went from Somalia to Haiti and done several little operations with them, and spent a few years all of us together.
Well, after we decided to greet each other with such loving care and brotherhood,
Yeah.
uh, and so afterwards it was like, we got up and shook hands, and one of us would say, "I'll buy the first round," and then there would be another argument. No, I'm going to buy the first round. It was like, holy,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
here we go again.
yeah. See, on that LSTO, there was 300 Marine Force Recon and 173 Navy personnel.
a little off sides there.
Yeah, but even their gunny sergeant stuff like it, they said they never seen Navy and Marine Corps or Marine Corps and Navy get along as good as we did, but we all picked on each other and
Well, I mean,
stuff. And
I was going to say, that's like, it doesn't matter what branch you were in.
oh yeah,
If you're a veteran, you're going to, oh my God, the Army, really? Or the Chair
yeah,
Force, or whatever.
yeah,
We in the Coast Guard were called shallow water sailors.
oh
And I'd
yeah,
always respond, well, somebody's got to guard your wife while you're out
yeah.
there.
But if I had to do all over again, I probably would have went Coast Guard.
It was, like I said, if I had to do it all over again, I would have. The only good thing about the Coast Guard was you could make rank a lot faster than you could in any of the 4
Yeah,
Department of Defense branches.
yeah. But I always like something a little bit more exciting, a little more extreme side. That's why I went small boats. And plus, if something happened, I didn't want to be down in the middle of that ship either.
No,
I wanted to
no,
be topside.
no.
And then when I went to the Army, I was a Army Scout, which was fun. Well, it was exciting. But
Well, after I got out, and then I joined the Army National Guard, and then of course we had to go down to down by Killeen, Texas, Fort Hood.
yeah,
Went to Fort Hood, for our,
your AT.
yeah. And so the funny thing was is that I became a field artillery surveyor because I was attached to headquarters battalion.
Yeah,
And but during the field training, they were going around and doing, had different stations. Well, this one particular station was a Claymore mine scenario
yeah,
where you had to set a Claymore mine and then show that you could properly, set it out. It wasn't live or anything like that.
right.
So the sergeant said, "Here, Connor," and handed it to me, and I said, "Cool, a Claymore. We didn't have this in the Coast Guard." He says, "You were in the Coast Guard? Give me that. Get over here and show him how to do this." I was
Yeah,
like, "Oh my God, how hard can it be? Wire here, wire here. You point towards enemy, set it up, run the wire back. 1, 2, 3, boom, you're done."
yeah,
I mean, I was just like, do you really think I'm that stupid?
yeah. Yeah,
But
the
anyway,
one good thing about the Scouts, though, we had all the cool toys.
well, I mean,
And
in the field artillery, we had our own Humvee, we had our own equipment. After we'd get, set up the everything for the 155s
yeah,
and all that, we just chilled out in our hammocks,
yeah,
but it wasn't bad. It was just that, if you like going camping, join the Army.
oh yeah.
Like eating cold food, join the Army.
If you like hiking, join the Army.
Join the Army. And if you want hot food and your same bunk every night, join the Air Force.
Yep.
if you want to go see China, not China, but if you want to go see Asia and all the other wonderful areas, join the Navy.
Yep.
But I never once got seasick when I was in the Coast Guard.
Yep.
Never once.
I didn't either.
Well, except that
Well,
one
I
night
got
they
to take
came
that back.
back from
The one time I got seasick was in we rode from the ship to the beach in Somalia in a Marine Corps AAV, Armor Amphibious Vehicle.
Yeah.
And you're inside that sucker closed
And
up,
it's hot as heck.
hot as heck, diesel fumes, and
somebody already throwing up, and then it's set you off.
that's a chain reaction.
Yep.
ugh.
And it's sitting there wallering all over the floor, and
Yeah.
Or if it was your buddy next to you, you might have got it all over you.
Yeah. Well, one of my jobs on that LST, I was the damage control petty officer.
Yep.
So at nighttime, I'd have to go around, make sure everything was proper settings and stuff like that. And part of my route that I had to make was right through the Marine Corps berthing. So they had all 300 of them in one berthing apartment. And I'd go by the ship store and get a couple cans of sardines. So as I walked through, I'd crack one open and slide it back up underneath their
rack.
Their lockers where they couldn't get to them.
That's mean.
Yeah, but that's the stuff that we did.
Yeah.
I mean, that's yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
There were some good times, and there were some good times.
Oh yeah. Take dental floss and wrap it around their bunks, completely around them with a minute, and
yep. And pray to God they didn't wake up while you were doing it. You're going to get your butt kicked.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, big time, I bet.
Yeah. And there again, it wasn't 1-on-1. It was one against all the rest of them.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And it didn't matter if it didn't matter if it was just whatever it was. Like you said, it was you and all them.
Yeah.
Didn't matter if you were on ship, off ship, or whatever, or import or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. My first fight with the Marines, we had to go up from Astoria, Oregon, up to Washington State to pick up what's called a monster buoy. It was a weather buoy.
Yeah.
And to take into tow and go get it set for NOAA. And we're in Astoria, being 17-year-old scrawny kid in the Coast Guard. There was nothing. There was nothing. No, not even a skating rink or nothing. It was a fishing village, city, and that was it.
Yeah.
And there was nothing to do.
Yeah.
And so basically, boring life. And so we went up there to Washington State. My gosh, there was a Coast Guard base. Guess what they had? They had an enlisted man's club.
Yeah.
Before we even got the lines tied to the dock, captain was on the PA system saying, in long story short, basically, we're here for a little while. Do not go to the enlisted men's club to get drunk and then come back, or otherwise you're going to be having a captain's mast.
Yeah. Well, we spent a lot of time down at Gitmo doing a lot of training down in that area, and it actually got to where whenever we pull in down there, and the walk from the piers up to where everything else is at, went right by the MP station or shore patrol.
Yeah.
And so it got to where whenever we got there, on the way walk up to there, I just popped my head in and said, "Hey, I'm here." They say, "All right, Scruffy, what pier are you on, so we know where to take you back to."
Well, that's like, and then when we would have our training, or FTG training, or stood for Fleet Training Group, but we always said it's blank the guard with the
Yeah.
letter F. But anyway, so we would go from Astoria, Oregon down to San Diego.
Yeah.
And basically we had all these different games, whatever type simulating things, and we played against the Navy.
Yeah.
Well, at the time, my job, because I was just an E3 and I was a seaman, and my job was using the line throwing GUN.
Yeah. They
Which
hurt
was-
when you get hit by them.
Well, especially the old ones.
Yeah.
Which we had the old 30 cal.
Yeah.
It had the lead on it
Yeah.
versus the M16
Yeah.
that's got the little rubber thing that shoots out.
That's what we had. Yeah. They still hurt when you get hit by them.
Oh, well, the Navy had that, and they were supposed to take us into tow. Or no, we were taking them into tow, so they were supposed to launch towards us. It was windy. The little rubber thing couldn't get to us.
Yeah.
The captain leaned over the rail from the conning and said, Connor, shoot, can you get a line over there to them? Are you ready? I said, yes, sir. He says, I said, where you want it, Cap? He says, right there, hit their smokestack. And I said, all right, sir. Whoop, and it went off. Oh my God. The chief boatswain mate came over and said, Connor, you better get the hell out of here. That captain is pissed in the Navy because I hit his ship.
Yeah.
Of course, my captain didn't do anything because he told me to do it.
Right.
It was funny though, because and that felt good because Chris won, Navy none.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't do it after 3 tries. And I'm not bad mouthing you, but
no, yeah.
But it's just, I'm just saying, we did stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Harass one another.
Yeah.
And
That's like we was doing our divisional tactical maneuvers with the entire battle group out there doing their turns and everything, close in support and stuff. And somehow a Jolly Rogers kite got started flying from the boat davits. And evidently, a phone call was made from the admiral of the fleet to the ship's captain I was on. And next thing I know, we're all sitting there, and all of a sudden, over the 1MC loudspeaker, damn it, Scruffy, get up here right now.
You're like, oh, shit.
Yep. That busted.
Yeah. I remember the old 1MC. That's why I just said PA, so at least Miss Lori would know. I knew you would know, but yeah, the 1MC, oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my number one bucket list was to get to Pearl Harbor to pay my respect to my shipmates. Even though I was, in time, you have to understand, Miss Lori, in a time of WAR, the U.S. Coast Guard would brotherhood with the Navy.
Yep.
Because we would come and reinforce them and and all that. Because we understood the lingo, we knew what everything was, we could talk to one another without having any extra training. So that's how come we did that.
Yeah.
But that's why I say, go ahead.
Well, there was during World War II, there's one Coast Guard boat coxswain got the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Yep. You know his name?
Oh, if you didn't ask me, I would have told you. But
yes, sir, he did. And guess what he was doing? Saving Marines.
Yep. Getting through a reef.
Yep. Because nobody could get to him, and he sat there and I think had a Browning 30 cal.
Yeah.
And
he was actually on the boat, and actually to get through the reefs, he actually laid the bow ramp down, crawled out on it, and laid down on his belly to look underneath the water to see where he could see the reefs and to guide their way through it.
Will this help you? Let me get it this way.
Let me bigify you.
Yeah.
Oh, over this way.
I can't. It's too small for me to read on my phone.
Douglas Monroe.
I got the TV going, but it's like a 5 second delay or something on it.
Douglas Albert Monroe.
Yeah,
That's who it
right.
was.
Monroe. I remember that.
Yeah, they've named 2 ships after him.
Yep. Oh yeah, I can see it on TV now.
Yeah. And if you look at him, he's in a Dixie cup.
Yep.
And he's got almost the Cracker Jack outfit on.
Yep. He's got
Yeah,
the
he
pipes on,
does.
or the piper, the flap.
Yep.
But
Do you know why that they used to wear that?
I would assume in case of fire or something like that to protect them.
No, it's because back in the old sailor days, during the wooden ship days, the pirates or the sailors and stuff, in order to keep from getting lice and stuff like that, they would cover their hair in well oil and well fat. And rather than to get all that all over their clothes and stuff, they put that flap on there to keep from getting their clothes dirty.
To catch the fat as it dripped off the back of their heads because it was so hot.
Yeah, well, that's how come Redbeard's beard was always easy to light on fire. Okay.
It might have had something to do with it.
That's true.
Because his beard was always smoking, or at least so.
Those were cannon wicks. That he put into his beard and light him on fire. That way his head was always in smoke. Kind of the psyop thing.
Oh yeah, he was definitely he was ahead of his future on that.
Oh yeah.
It says, as they said in the cartoon, "You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch."
Yeah. That's kind of like the psyop guys when we was over in Iraq, when we go and do house clearance and stuff like that.
Right.
They gave us 2 crates of pigs, and would actually kick the door in, let a pig loose in the house,
and they'd come running out,
which is not right on so many levels.
Well, you need to go maybe have to explain a little more to her.
Yeah,
because of the pork.
Yeah,
I know.
Okay.
Yeah. They cleared the house. They'd be jumping out windows and everything.
I bet.
But I'm sorry, that didn't happen.
Hang on.
No.
I'm gonna do this. Just so I don't. Yeah, I got to do that just because of the fact that I'm like, you want to play games? Here you go.
Here, have one.
Yeah, but I think you got to remember that was back in 2000. Well, 2002, 2000. Well, 2003, 2004. That was back to. That was kind of like the Old West over there at that time.
I bet.
And
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they do the same thing to you guys.
Yeah. Oh, they did. It was.
Oh, there was several things.
But Lori, glad you joined us on with us live.
Oh,
you know, I'm having fun.
Hold your arm up, Miss Lori. Let me give you that. Do the twist so you can blame. Say it wasn't your fault. I did it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I had nothing to do with it.
It's fun. This is the longest I've ever been on somebody's live. So.
Oh, I tell you what, Miss Lori is fun. She's good people.
Oh, I know. I watch her every chance I get.
She'll hang with Heather from Heaven's Fire, and usually Heather, Miss Lori, and myself. I call us the night shift crew.
Yep. I watch it every time, every night y'all are on.
And Lori
she about killed me yesterday, though.
My happy birthday.
Yeah.
Well, see, you know what you didn't do, Miss Lori, is that you didn't put the at Leonard Mountain Homestead in the topic of your video, so they didn't see it. And so what I did is that I videotaped it and I copied your link and
The
then
link.
sent it to Amy to make sure that Chris would get it.
Yeah. You know what?
Yeah,
You
see, I
should have
didn't
done
know
the
how to
wall.
do that.
You should have
What?
done the brick wall thing with that.
with a clown face.
Yeah.
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 Man, I couldn't believe how fast Amy moved when
Oh,
when
me
train.
neither.
I mean,
that-
she was up and gone.
Well, she was.
I
that
know,
scared
I
her.
know.
Yeah, she was still crying when she came back.
You know, and
Yeah.
it's not funny, you know, and I'm not laughing. I found it funny because the fact that she was sitting there coughing and not feeling good, but boy, howdy, she got up and boogied.
She boogied out of there.
All
I
she
know.
said,
I know what she means
Oh,
about
don't.
evil clowns. I'm not a big fan of evil clowns either. But I mean, it's not like I'm afraid of them.
Well, that's like, I don't do what was it, Friday the 13th and or
Yeah,
what's the
I
other, Freddy
don't.
Krueger. I don't watch any of that stuff because
No,
it
me
just
either.
doesn't interest me.
It's gross.
You know,
It's just
well, the thing
Yeah.
that mostly, I don't remember what commercial it is, but it's like there's some commercial that was on, I don't know, months ago, and it's a bunch of these kids and they're at a spooky place and all this stuff, and they're sitting there talking amongst themselves. Well, look, there's a car right over there and it's running. Let's go and get in.
Oh yeah.
And the
Go
girl
and get
goes,
in
"Oh,
there."
no.
The chainsaws.
Yeah, let's go over here where the chainsaws are. We'll be safer. And then it shows like the bad guy or whatever. He's just like, really? I don't believe this.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is too easy.
And I'm sitting there going like, yeah, well, that's horror movies right there. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. They get the dumbest teenagers in the world.
Oh yeah.
but I have
Well-
to admit, the scariest movie to me was the movie Jaws.
Really?
Yeah.
That was
Well, I was. You got to
Well,
remember,
yeah. I
was-
understand
I-
that.
You know,
Yeah,
a
that
boat?
freaked me out, too.
I was a Coast Guard. I was like the number one swimmer in case somebody went overboard or whatever,
Yeah.
and all that jazz. And then when we, okay, fish call, everybody, throw out your line. And people were catching sharks. I was going around taking a dogging tool to dog zebra, a little
Yeah.
piece of pipe. I was going around going, killing them sharks because I was like, they go, gosh, Connor, why are you doing that? I said, because that's one less one that I have to worry about if I get in the water.
Right.
That's true.
Well, you remember the movie Wrong Turn?
Wrong turn.
Nope,
No.
never heard
It
of
was
it.
an old horror flick.
No.
These inbred folks up in the mountains and stuff. People be trying to get to where they're going, and then they make a wrong turn off the interstate and end up up there in the mountains. That was actually based off a
Deliverance?
true story. One county above me in Greenbrier County,
Huh.
up next to the Greenbrier Resort and stuff. And
Well, the most true life horror story movie that I can remember was called The Fog, because
The
I was
Fog.
over on the Oregon coast, on the coast, and
Yep.
when that fog rolled in, it looked just. I mean, it just you can
You
see
can
it.
watch it.
And when that movie came out, I was like, "Holy Moses!"
yeah. Well, even the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I think that was based on a true story.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it though.
I don't know.
I wasn't there. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
Just because it says Texas.
Yeah.
Ugh,
But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just
I don't like those movies.
I don't know either.
So
That's what I mainly I watch YouTube, you guys and stuff, and the group, the family, I call
Yeah.
them, and
Yeah.
and a lot of history.
well,
A
I
lot
do
Yeah.
of
it
history
for,
videos and stuff.
I
but-
I mean, I do it for the the ham radio stuff. I do it for my models that I've got and all that.
Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to talk to you
Yeah, I
about.
know.
I don't know if you've seen that last video that I put out on my channel. I've only got like 4 videos out on it.
Well, no, but I will definitely. I
I
promise
think
you,
I
I'll
might have.
go. I didn't
But
know.
I'd always wanted to build a diorama.
Yeah.
So about 6 months ago, I started one.
Well, yeah. Okay, you built that one. That's
Yeah,
right.
that's the one I've been building.
I did see that one.
Yeah, but all the figures in there, all the characters and stuff,
Right.
are part of the YouTube family.
Huh.
The cabin up on top, it's got the 3 little girls with the musical instruments and stuff, and there's vegetable stuff
is that
around. The vineyard chicks.
Vineyard chicks, yeah.
Yeah, and then I got
I don't think I did see that.
the one guy with all the animals around him. That's Mickey and his
Critter
dog
Creek.
and all the animals
Critter
and
Creek.
stuff, and a few others, which I'll always be adding on to that, different people and stuff. But when you get a little figure that's 3 inches tall, and you got to figure out who that figure reminds you of, and I've got a whole box of them trying to figure out. And hell, it ain't cheap. That's like $20. You might get one figure 3 inches tall, or you might get 3 figures for $25, 3 inches tall.
Hang on, Troy.
Right, but
do you see all of that?
yeah.
Okay, that's all models.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I went to. No, I did go. I got to remember I'm backwards. Over here, where you see that hose going, that is a spray area.
Yeah.
I've got like 6 spray guns, and then
Okay.
well, over here is where I put things together. Plus, all my ham radio stuff is over there.
Yeah.
And then up above me is more of those shelves of models, which this is all the B-17s.
Right.
Because
in my storage unit, I've got boxes and boxes of just old World War II models and stuff.
well, you need to get them to where they're in a controlled environment so that one, they don't melt.
Yeah.
You know, and the decals will last. And I don't know if you're still sealed, but if they're not sealed, then you need to get your decals out and put them in a Ziploc bag and push all the air out of it to save the decals.
Yeah. Yeah, it's where they're at. They're in the indoor climate controlled.
Okay.
Oh, that's
I
good.
got 2 storage units. One's got all my woodworking cabinetry tools and equipment and stuff. Then I got all my models and other things in the other one. But
My brother was big into models.
yeah,
He did.
I got to
he
get
did
where I can drive
ships.
again. That way I can get up there and get
He
some of that
did
stuff
planes.
home.
Well, the whole theory with the models is because number 1, I'm single. Okay.
Right.
Number 2, I'm retired. And number 3, I'm not getting any younger. So my whole theory is that, instead of sitting here going like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then I know you can't see it, but I've got rows and rows of all these paints.
Yep.
And, of course, I would hate to, if somebody came up to me and says, do you know how much money you have spent just in modeling? I would hate to see the figure. I really would.
Oh yeah. I tell you what, I bet I'm probably pushing $1,000 on that diorama by itself.
Oh, I know. I wouldn't doubt it. Trust me, I know.
Oh yeah. Because I bought a water wheel the other day. So you put in the creek and stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, cool.
That was $50 right there.
Yeah. Are you using any also as another source of place and all that? You can always look into the model train for scenery stuff.
And that's what I'm going to use now. But what I use to all the videos and stuff of people making the model railroad place and everything, nothing really looked right to me as far as the rock faces and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I use spray foam to make the base and stuff, and just let it go wherever it wanted to. And then I went out here in the old wood pile and got the bark
Yeah.
off of the old wood and stuff, and I started placing the bark and everything on it. And I think it turned out pretty good for somebody's first time ever doing anything like that.
Well, not
That
in
was the
this
other thing
room
my brother did.
because basically I have a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath home.
Yeah.
So this is the hobby room.
Yeah.
And then I've got a master bedroom, which has got the SAFE in it
Yeah.
with the GUNs,
Mm-hmm.
all that. And so there's that. And then in the other spare room is a 4 foot by 8 foot by 4 foot tall HO scale train.
Right.
And it's got I did a waterfront and all that on it. And
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to make a beach. I need some sand. And I remembered at the time, my girlfriend and I, when we went to Cozumel, Mexico, I'd always take a water bottle, an empty water bottle, and fill it full of the beach sand and bring it back home. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm going to use Cozumel, Mexico sand and
Yeah.
for the beach. And so I did that. So, you'd be surprised what you can come up with.
Yeah.
It's like, if I can reach, where do I, no. Well, anyway, there it is up here. It's like, I know you can't see it, but these little wooden stir sticks.
Yeah. I use a lot of that.
You go to the convenience store, you get a cup of coffee, grab you some of these.
Oh, yeah.
You can use them for shingles, you can use them for so many things. And so I got a handful of them.
Fence posts.
Yeah. But I
Fence
started doing them
rails.
and everything. It's because from the stroke, because I went blind for 2 weeks after the stroke too, saying and with the cerebellum damage, I have constant vertigo. So to work on my hand and eye coordination, that's where I started out building freedom seed spitters.
Yep.
And then as I got doing that, then it's a little bit more in depth and smaller parts with the models. So I bought a couple of the models of the trucks that I drove over in Iraq and stuff, and built and painted them like the ones that I drove and had. And of course, I got a couple of the ships I was on, but that's way too small for me. There's no way that I can possibly build it.
There's one model I still want to get, but it's the most expensive one, of course.
Yeah.
And because I have an interest in it, I've had an interest in it and all that. And that's the RMS Titanic. But the one problem I have is that to get it, which is about $500.
Yeah.
And then to build it, it's huge.
Yeah.
Where am I going to put it?
I was going to ask you,
Yeah.
is it like the 4 or 5 foot long one?
Yep.
Yep. I know. The one.
Yeah.
But see, I've got what is it? Of course, I've got the Arizona and the Mighty Mo.
Yep.
And then I have another aircraft carrier that it's in the Essex class that I'm going to build and make it into my father's aircraft carrier.
Right. Well, I've got the because I was on the USS America CV-66 aircraft carrier.
Yep.
So I've got that one, and then I got the FFG guided missile frigate, USS Nicholas, and I'd love to get the Spartanburg County, the LST, but the only one of them I've been able to find is over $200.
Where are you looking for them at?
That one was actually a specialty one because nobody else done the old LSTs. Well, it wasn't the old, what the World War II ones. It was the ones that had the big derrick arms that went out in the front.
Yeah.
That had the ramp on the main deck. That
What was the
ramp,
name?
it would pick the ramp up, take it out, and put it on, set it down on the beach.
What was the name again?
Spartanburg County, LST 1192.
Spartanburg. I hope I'm spelling it right. Maybe not.
BURG.
Like Spartanburg, South Carolina, was what it was named
Well,
after.
let's see. There's a hat. There's a street sign. I should have typed in model. I don't want the picture. I want this. Model. Shit.
You know,
What is it?
we actually made the
LST?
newspaper in. No, I seen the one out of Cincinnati, Ohio. That they had the front page, full page article on us because we were the force recon in Somalia. We were actually the very last U.S. troops to leave Somalia.
What was the whole number?
LST 1192.
Okay. I'm checking eBay is the reason why I'm asking.
Well, that's where I found that one. And it went to a specialty place.
1192.
Of course, we decommissioned. The kill was laid in 1971, the year I was born. And then we decommissioned it in 1995 and sold it to the Malaysian government, who set it on, who let it catch on fire about 6 months after having it, and it's went to the bottom of the Bay of Malaysia.
And what year were you on it?
1990 through 95, or no, 92 through 95.
And it is under your Troy, right?
Yep.
Okay. I'm not asking for her last name.
Right. That's my my channel name was Troy Sutton, so that ain't no.
That's gonna be the last name, right? Yeah, that's the last name. Just, I'm wanting to prove a point to any non-believers. Strange. There's got to be more than that. There was a Bart Mathis.
He was in First Division.
Sean's. Let's see. I'm looking at the ratings of BM or something.
Mm-hmm.
There was only 2 BMs. There was a Chris De La Garza from Houston.
Yeah, we used to call him Delagonzo.
I said Garza.
Yep, he was in First Division too. Mathis was the petty officer in charge of First Division.
And
BM1.
It's not showing. Oh, nope. There's Scotty Turney.
Turney was those are all First Division guys.
Well, that's the only thing they're listing for BMs. Let me see if I can.
Because I was in Boat Division.
I know you sent me. I don't know if I saved your email or not. Of course I didn't. Oh, Dad, burn it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
but yeah.
So
we got.
I know you can't see it, but it's a crew list, is what it is.
Yeah. Well, we got a crew list too on our Facebook page, USS Spartanburg County. And
I'm assuming it's not a full list, but anyway, Let me get back to looking what I was looking for. I don't want that.
Yeah. Big Mike was over at the same time I was. He was on an aircraft carrier, but he was in Somalia. But then he was in Bosnia too when I was at the same time as I was.
Why is what in the heck?
90s wasn't the fun time to be in the service.
Well, I can tell you that the late 70s and early 80s were, were boring as ever.
Yeah.
But can you bignify me, Miss Lori?
I certainly can.
I can't.
That's it. That's her.
Anyway, that's what he's. I know you can't. I'm trying to point. That's what he. If I can get
The
my
bow
finger.
ramp.
That ramp right there that's sticking
Yeah.
up in the air. That's
Yeah.
that thing he was talking. I'm trying to get
Yeah.
more light. I need to
Yeah.
probably
The
brighten my
boom.
screen.
And my general quarters station was a 50 cal machine gun on the front of the ship, right underneath them derrick arms.
That's strange. It's showing to be full
You
brightness.
could almost see my boats back here behind the superstructure.
Well, hang on.
Yep. LCPL or LCPV. I think it's PV, personnel vessel.
I don't know if that's any better.
Yep. That's we mounted an M60 on the Samson post on the front for armament.
So, but yeah, I will.
And then the landing craft was underneath it.
I'll save that so you can go back to normal, Miss Lori. Thank you. I was just showing. I'll look and see. What I'll do is I'll search again on eBay, and then I'll save that search, and then it'll alert me if anything comes up.
Yeah.
What I need to do, whenever you get a chance, email me your phone number.
Okay.
And then what I'll do is I'll respond to your phone number and send you a text, and I'll say, hey, it's Texas Raider Chris.
Yeah.
And so that you have mine. And so that if I find something, a model or whatever, then I can at least say, heads up, here it is.
Yeah. Which I need to talk to you anyway. I got some ham radio questions for you.
I don't know it all, brother.
Hey, I'm just trying to figure out how to program a Bofang. I got one in my truck too. But
here's what I need you. Here's the best person, and go watch him. And you'll have to go to his channel, and then you'll have to scroll down in his videos and look. But he's called the Orlando Prepper.
I've heard of him, and I know I've watched him.
And he'll sit there and show you the shortcuts and how to deal with those Baofangs.
Yeah. See, my biggest problem is with the stroke and everything. Whenever it gets down to anything, if I have to read directions, I can't comprehend it. And
he's sitting there holding it, and he'll sit there and tell you the codes, or he doesn't go fast. He'll sit there and say, okay, if you want to program this channel, you push this, then you push this, then you type in the numbers, and you hit this, and then saved.
Right.
And then, or if you want to sign it, like this is the first number one or whatever. But yeah, the Orlando Prepper. And if I'll tell you what I'll do. Let me close that, minimize that. Here. 1, 2. I'm going to copy his channel, put it in here in the link. I'll
Okay.
put the link in the chat. Then you can click on the chat, and then you can subscribe or whatever.
Yeah.
And instead of having to go figure out where it's at, what was his name, and all that. But
Yeah, I think I've seen him a couple times.
well, he's in Florida, in
Yeah.
Orlando, and there you go. And anyway, he also you know how you've seen all these deals about the solar power and solar power generators, you know, and all this. And
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
you need to,
I know exactly who you're talking about now. Yeah.
and all that. Well,
Yeah.
I hope it's over there. I've got basically it's an ammo box.
Yeah.
I built a solar generator within that ammo box, following his directions.
Yeah.
For under $200 instead of paying thousands upon or $800.
Oh yeah.
That.
Yeah. I built same setup, kind of like yours. Mine's a little bit bigger because it's hooked up to a 3,000 watt or inverter.
Yeah.
That way I could hook my camper up to it, and it's got 4 of the big panels that goes with it. But
well, see,
and it's
that's
all on a cart, mobile and stuff.
Did you go get you something to drink, Miss Lori?
No, not yet. I want to share an image. I don't know if this is going to work, though.
An image?
You'll get it. I got faith in you.
It was her when she was 21, and look how pretty she was. She had all the guys doing that, chasing after her.
Let's see.
I bet she was one to hang on to.
Oh, she had to be a pistol because she's a pistol now. She cracks me up.
Oh, I love Miss Lori.
Oh well, she's the only one I've ever said directly on all that. Oh, there you go.
That's it. That's my first ship.
That's it, right?
Yep. It's only a football field long.
And believe it or not, correct me if I'm wrong now, Troy, but on that ramp, you could literally walk up to the edge of that, up to the top of that, up to the top of that ramp.
Yep. Well, actually, it was two arms that went up.
Yeah.
And a crossbar in the front.
Yeah.
That's where we send people up there for mail buoy watch.
And that's also where, if talk about keel hauling and
yeah. But yeah, we would get a new guy on board and put him in a K-POC, life preserver and all the safety gear and all that stuff. Send him up there, and of course they're sound activated, the mail buoys, so they had to call out to them, "Here, mail buoy! Here, mail buoy!"
What they did to me is that I had to go up and put lubricant in the I had to go find the radar antenna lubricant and then climb up to the mast to the radar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we took that ship up to what's the state capital of New York?
Manhattan, no.
Yeah.
Well, we took it all the way up the Hudson River.
The Empire State Building?
No,
it was the state capital of New York.
Oh, Albany.
Albany, yeah. We took it all the way up to Albany, up to Hudson River. And there were a couple low bridges up through there. And so we sent a boy down to the engineering. Said, we're getting close to the bridge. So we sent the messenger down to the engineering department to get the hand crank to crank the mast down. And of course, they sent him around to all the other departments and stuff. And he finally came back with a crank for a winch, one of the big ones, big crank. So he showed up. It's like, well, what we do is now. Oh, I said, send him down to the captain. You got to have the captain's permission to use it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I can see the captain. What in the heck are you doing?
No,
here?
all I heard, and excuse the language and everything, all I heard was once captain opened the door, because his cabin was right below the bridge. All I could hear was, "Damn it, Scruffy!" That phrase got told a lot on that ship. But I got away with murder around there.
Okay, I'm gonna pull this down now and put us back up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to find it.
I think Heather went to sleep on us,
I think that's a good possibility.
which is probably a good thing because she needs to get some sleep.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah. Chris, you ever see anybody do a highline transfer of a person?
Yes, sir.
We did it one time.
And it's the same theory as when refueling.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
And,
the same principle, I should say.
Yeah. And our chief bosun mate, he decided he wanted to ride across to the other ship and back. That was a mistake.
He didn't come back.
Oh, he came back. He was soaking wet when he came back, but
Oh, I figured y'all were gonna have some fun with him before you sent him back. You know.
well, no, well, we dipped him because all the ropes and cables and everything
Yep.
have to be controlled
Taut.
by hand.
Yep.
You
And
can't
then you
use
had the one
winches and
guy
stuff, so
that's
you
sitting there
got
holding the little.
you got a big long line of guys.
Yep.
They're either pulling the line in or letting it out, depending on if the ships get closer or go farther
Yep.
apart.
Yep.
And
But yeah, that's and then you always had that one guy that's sitting there holding the red or the green little
Yeah.
paddle. It looked like a ping pong ball,
Yeah.
a ping pong ball.
heave around,
Yeah. Yeah.
slack off.
Yeah.
I got two of them connected.
And it was always amazing for those who had never ever seen refueling
Oh yeah,
underway
yeah,
to see all of that going on.
yeah.
I went
from a rigger to the oh shoot, to the oh shoot, what's it called? I went from being the rigger for the unreps to running. You know what I was talking.
Yep.
The one giving all the orders and everything over.
But I'll tell you one thing I learned about the military. You never, ever, under any circumstances, never let the coffee pot be empty for the Master Chief.
No.
Otherwise, you think Captain was going to be mad? Oh, no, the Master Chief is going to make your life a living heck.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I think there might be a Master Chief mug sitting around here somewhere.
But yeah, I'm telling you, the Master Chief, I guarantee you that if anything ever happened to that ship, you dang well better listen to the Master Chief.
Third in command. On most ships. Small ones, definitely. The third in command.
You got to remember, Master Chiefs, they grew up in the ranks.
Right.
Been there, done that, and probably even had it worse than what the new guys have got.
Well, that's why they called him chief of the boats.
Yep. The cops.
On the small boys, it was always a bosun mate.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's like whenever the officers were getting their qualifications for small boats, I was the only person they could come to that could sign off on their qualifications.
You remember that time you wanted to write me up on that captain's mast? Well,
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not going to say.
The only time I ever got wrote up or even got a bad strike on an eval was because I always had a dip of Copenhagen in, and I got wrote up for non-military bearings, and the master at arms kept writing me up for not shaving. Of course, I would work 3 or 4 days straight, and I'd go to captain's mast and everything. And the captain just looked at the master at arms and said, "Don't you know he's called Scruffy for a reason?" Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was the funniest thing in boot camp because I went to boot camp in Alameda, California.
Yeah.
And, of course, 17, I had fuzz, and all this. I didn't have a mustache. I didn't have a 5 o'clock shadow. And so apparently one of the shipmates in our group didn't shave. Well,
Yeah.
when one messes up, everybody messes up. So we had to go out there on deck and dry shave.
Yeah.
And I'm like, one, I didn't have my dad ever teach me how to shave. Number 2, I didn't know how to shave. Number 3, I didn't have anything to shave.
Yeah.
And oh my God, I swear the senior chief, master chief, you would have thought he was in my mouth and down my throat as bad as he was up in my face.
Yeah.
Telling me that I need to shave. And I came out with all this cuts and, bleed. I was like, I didn't have anything to shave.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
You said where you went to boot camp. That reminded me. I went to Great Lakes, Illinois. I got there December 8th. Right through the middle of wintertime, Great Lakes, Illinois.
Oh, nice warm weather.
Oh, yeah. But, I found out that's actually the best time to go to boot camp up there. It's too cold. You can't be outside.
Yeah, you don't do calisthenics outside.
Yeah. It's now you can make it rain inside of a building, though. I found that out.
Well, I know in damage control training, yeah, they could flood a room.
Well, no, you get in there and you get all the guys, you push all your racks back against the wall, and they start PTing you.
Oh.
Until you start sweating so much and gets so much moisture in there that water is actually dripping from the ceiling. But yeah. But I remember the damage control simulator. I loved that. That was fun. Where they put you down in there.
The only thing I didn't like about it was that water was dead burn chilly.
Oh yeah.
But it was mind games.
Oh yeah. And it didn't matter if you saved it or not. But you didn't save it until they wanted you to save it.
Yep.
Which is always about 5 or 6 times going through the simulator.
Yep.
And I know Lori don't know what it is. Well, they put you in a big box in a swimming pool.
Pretty much.
It's like a section of a ship.
Yep. And it's got.
And then they start sinking it, and the pipes are leaking. There's holes in the side of it and everything. So all that water's rushing in. So you're inside of a sinking ship.
And the water's
coming
up. And then when you get one leak fixed, somebody would flip a switch and all of a sudden the main would break.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh crap.
And they would sink it until everybody in there was swimming.
Yep.
And sucking for air up against the ceiling.
Yep.
That would scare the hell out of me. I'm petrified of water.
But that was the whole point of it, was to get you accustomed to it, even though you didn't know that at the time.
Yeah. But
yeah,
the funnest part about going to boot camp up there December 8th was seeing all them boys from California and Florida
Freezing
showing
their
up in
balls.
shorts, t-shirts, and sandals. And we were there for a week before they gave us any clothes.
Oh, wow.
Oh, they were definitely freezing.
Oh yeah.
I remember when it was chow time in what civilians would call the cafeteria, Miss Lori.
Yeah.
And we would be standing
Mess
outside
hall.
of it. And they had an old saying where we had to stand. You had to stand so close to the person in front of you that you couldn't see daylight. They had a different saying, but that's the best way I can explain it.
Yeah.
So my body
The
was
initials are N and B.
Yep. You know, it's kind of like a bolt and a nut, but there was a nut and to the bolt. It was basically a nut to your backside, is what it was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But oh
But
heck,
you know, it was so
it was
cold
nuts to butts, Miss Lori. It was nuts to butts.
Thanks.
but it's so cold, we'd actually have to line up inside the barracks, and we'd put a ski mask on and everything, and then run to the chow hall and inside the chow hall. And by the time we got there, the ski mask would freeze to your upper lip. So when you went to go take that off, you'd always take off a layer of skin with it every time you take that ski mask off. But
well, I didn't have weather. I mean, I had, you know, the fun part. Another fun part was watching all the guys, you know, that had the long hair.
Yeah,
Get their hair cut off at the
It's
barber.
shaved.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
It was kind of like the movie Stripes,
Yeah.
where
Buzz
they're
cut.
sitting there in the barber and they're sitting there, and one of them was all, you know, my God, my hair.
Yeah. But
Poor
Yeah.
guys.
fun times.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely interesting. But I realized in 1979 on my first ship, when we were off in between California and Hawaii, we saw a vessel that was not flying a country flag.
Oh no.
In the Coast Guard, that's what we call a clue.
Yeah.
So we boarded it. 39 tons of marijuana.
Yeah. We done some drug ops down in the Keys and stuff.
The funny part is that the crew on the ship were following orders and being, you know, compliant and everything else.
Yeah.
It was the fellow Coast Guardsmen that were going, dude, we got bud. We got to get some. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was sitting there going like,
Hello,
"Hey."
dumbass.
I was sitting there going like, wait a minute now.
It was the same way with us, because we'd be out there and, you know, be these floating bundles, 4 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot
Of the white powder.
Yeah, and
or heroin.
You never seen so many people out on the main deck with hooks and ropes and
Yeah. And then you go, when I'm sleeping, these guys are up there either operating the vessel or whatever, and you're just like, holy Jimmy crickets.
Oh, that reminds me. I can say I've done a complete circle at the helm of an aircraft carrier. Nobody ever knew about it.
Huh.
Because when I woke up, I was on the helm stern ship. When I woke up, I turned around and looked at everybody else in the pilot house. Everybody else in the pilot house is asleep too. I was like, well, this ain't cool.
Yeah, not a good thing.
No. And we
Wow.
done a complete circle.
I can only imagine the rest of the group was going, what in the heck are they doing?
Yeah. Well, luckily we was out there by ourselves, but somebody knew where we was at.
Oh, I'm surprised you didn't have a tin can, or I say tin can, a missile or a ship or something, because you always had somebody with you or
Well,
nearby.
usually we did, but we was out just doing some training or something. We didn't even have any aircraft on board. But
All right. Well, Miss Lori, it's 2 hours. You about ready to turn in?
I know
You
I
said
about
what?
am. I know I got to
Mm,
make a run to the
To the
gym.
Oh,
I used to have a John, but I changed the name to Jim. That way I could say I went to the gym at least once a day.
it's almost. Let's see. It's almost what 2 a.m. there for you.
Yeah,
It's getting there.
Well, actually, for you two, both of you.
yeah, yeah. Because I'm in southern West Virginia, right on the state line over next to Virginia Tech.
Well, I'm north of Oklahoma City, is where I'm at, up on the Oklahoma-Kansas border.
Yeah,
But I'm in Oklahoma.
yeah,
So if you picture Oklahoma City and you drew a straight line up, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, you know, I'm in Massachusetts.
My family settled Massachusetts whenever they came over, and it was either the very late 1500s or the early 1600s.
Well, she dated John F. Kennedy.
She probably dated my great 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 granddaddy.
And she even kissed him, too.
Yeah.
On the cheek.
Yeah. But no, I know he was born in England in the 1500s, but he died up there where you're at in the early 1600s.
Huh.
What was his name? Oh,
John Smith. For real,
no
John Smith.
way. Seriously.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
Now, whether it was the John Smith, I don't know, but he was there at that time.
Yeah.
And actually, I just pulled out the old family history book out today because I want to look it up to. Actually, it's got the town and the cemetery that he's buried in.
Oh,
And
well,
I
if
was
you
going
could
to look it
find
up
that
to ask
out,
you if
I
you knew where
can.
that was at.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. I mean,
Well, don't forget.
your last name is Sutton.
Smith. Well, that's the Smith side. The name, my family name changed a couple times. It went from Smith to Sutton, but it was
Yeah, we changed our family name to Latrine.
yeah.
Mm.
But well, I think I'm going to go. I think I scared everybody else in the chat.
Hey, before you go, don't forget to click on the Orlando Preppers links
I will
in the chat so that you can have.
I know who you're talking about now because I know another guy that he does a lot of
Prepping.
no, not
radios.
co streams with.
Oh, well, there's also the Rule 2IC.
Yeah,
they're in all that, and there's but anyhow.
Yep.
So yeah, but anyway, but yeah, he's got his logos says OP Nation, and it's a black background with a little bit of I think O's red or whatever. But anyway, just click on it and it'll take you there, and you'll have it already.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go.
I think I do, but I'm going to double check it.
All right.
Well, Mr. Lori, thank you for letting me come on. Nobody
Hey,
else
anytime.
this long.
And then email me your phone number.
I will definitely do that
when you have time.
All right. And if I don't, just get it from Amy.
Okay.
Because Amy's got all my information and stuff. So
I'm trying to think.
Excellent. I have a niece that's married. Well, it's Jerry's niece, my husband's niece, that lives in Martinsburg.
Yeah. I got a cousin who lives in Martinsburg. He was a retired state trooper.
Up in the north.
That's in the Panhandle,
Northern.
up next to DC and
Yeah.
Baltimore.
Yeah, he has a lot of relatives in Maryland, and
Yeah.
his family is into they're huge into the mining thing, and they
Right.
run the big boring machines that open up the mines.
Oh, yeah.
And
Well, I'll tell you what, I would say I probably delivered parts to him because
that
I
could
used to
very
work
well
for a
be.
motor rebuild place, and we were the biggest on the East Coast, and we covered everything from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, east.
Their company is not just in West Virginia. They're all over where the mining
Yeah,
areas are.
yeah.
Pennsylvania and
Yeah, I used to have to go pick up the electrical motors and generators and stuff like that, and then we'd bring them back here, rebuild them, then take them back to them. So
That goes dark. I just emailed you, Troy, with my cell number.
okay,
All right, I'm out.
I am too. Y'all
Right.
take care. Love
Thanks both of you. God bless.
Thanks for coming live, Miss Lori. Hugs
Hey,
and
no
love.
problem.
Hugs
y'all
and
take
love.
Hugs
care.
and love.
All right.
Take care
Bye-bye.
of yourselves.
Take care, brother.
All right. Now I got to figure out how to turn this thing off.
You go up there and hit the lead button. Or
Hit leave. Yeah, it just says leave up in the
there it is.
right hand
I
corner.
got you. Y'all take care.
all right, brother.
Bye.
All right. You need anything, you let me know. All right, Miss Lori.
I will. All righty.
Sweet dreams.
You too. Thanks.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye bye. Okay. I need to bigify this so I can see where it says. Thank you all. If there's anyone left out there watching, thanks for stopping by. Love you all. God bless. Godspeed. And